And ooh, if anybody wants to come into Zoom and interact live, you can chat with me in the chat. Come on over. The link is in the Facebook group. And I just sent out an email with it as well. So anybody wants to come on into the Zoom platform, that would be fantastic. Because I can't watch. I have over here, I have Facebook up, but it's too hard to look at that. And if you have comments or questions, you don't have to show your face on Zoom if that keeps you from getting on the Zoom. I have it on focus mode, so I don't even think that you can go on camera right now in the Zoom room. But if you want, I will take it off focus mode at the end. But you can chat and ask questions and comment. I would love that. Okay, I think we're good. You can hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me, something if you can hear me, any reaction if you can hear me. So this is the Manage Your Stress and Other Emotions workshop. I scheduled this for July 11th, I think, in the beginning. And then I had a crazy change in plans. And I had a trip scheduled for Nashville in July. But I wasn't supposed to leave until like the 13th or 14th. And then it just crazily worked out that I was able to go to Virginia and see my son the weekend before he left for deployment and watch his ship sail out of sight. So that was quite a crazy experience. Rescheduled it for this week, thinking I'm not going to have anything conflict this week. Oh, well, guess what? I am in the guest bedroom at my son and daughter-in-law's house because we traveled from Idaho to Washington for a baby shower for my little baby grandson. And so making it work, figuring it out and making it work. And it is all good. Okay. Let's just get started. I'm recording this. It is recording. So there will be a replay. If you're watching on the replay, welcome. Thank you. I would love to hear from you. Okay. I will just tell you, it has been a hot minute since I have done some of this. Oh no. Is this not? Huh. I totally forgot about this. I had problems sharing my screen before. And I do not even know. Oh my goodness. Screen recording. Okay, I apologize. I'm gonna try this for just 1 second to see if I can figure it out. And if I can't, then I'm just going to not. Okay, no. I don't know what Zoom did, but it is not letting me share my screen. And that is okay. I will minimize my screen so that I can see the presentation that I prepared so that I know what to talk about. Okay, let's see. I will what will I do? I will link this presentation up in the Facebook group, and I will post it on the webpage with the replay and everything. I apologize. I completely forgot that I had this issue before I left on my trip. And like I said, it's been a hot minute since I've done this. Okay. Again, if you're live in the Facebook group and you want to come in to the Zoom room, I put the link in the Facebook group in the event. I put it in an email that just went out not too long ago, and it's on the page that you got sent if you signed up for this specific workshop. So you can come into Zoom if you would like and interact live, because I can't monitor the Facebook group at the same time. So I think I'm just gonna, because it's a little bit distracting too. So welcome. If you're watching live in the Facebook group, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. If you'd like to come over to Zoom, feel free. If not, you do you. Okay. I really did. Oh, thank you. I really did put a presentation together, and okay, it would be great. I didn't do worksheets. I didn't do anything like that for this. If it would be super helpful if you get a notebook or some notebook paper, journal, something to have with you, and a pen, or you can, if you are technologically inclined, you can also, hold please, just having all kinds of things go on today. Notice camping chair. I just noticed that my computer was not plugged in. So just in case. Okay. Okay. Anyway, I am not stressed. How about that? Things don't go perfect and I'm not stressed. It's okay. Okay, so this is the Manage Your Stress and Other Emotions workshop. And if you have pen and paper, that will be helpful, or you can open a Word document or a Google document and take notes for that, because we are going to have a couple little assignments to do along the way. And if you're watching this, you probably know who I am, but I'm just going to say a little bit about me. One of the things that I've kind of added to my bio is I am an Enneagram 8. I am a Jesus-loving Enneagram 8, which means that I am the Enneagram 8 like headlines or like main points are challenger and protector. If you tell me what the rules are, I'm going to challenge them. If there are people that are unable to speak up for themselves, I'm going to protect them. And also, while I'm protecting them, I'm going to encourage them and help them to stick up for themselves and learn to protect themselves. I have been married to my high school sweetheart for 29 years, and we have 2 adult sons. One is in the Navy. My youngest son is in the Navy and deployed in the Middle East. So if you could pray for him, that would be fantastic. My oldest son got married last summer, and they are expecting, me and his wife are expecting my first grandbaby in November of this year. I am a Christian life and weight loss coach, and I recently left my day job as a high school counselor to work on growing my coaching practice and help as many Christian women in general, whether they're Christian or not, to determine how they want to live their life stop letting the obstacles get in their way, figure out how to overcome those obstacles and create a life that they love living. Okay, that is who I am. At Coach Genevieve. Okay, Bible verse, Philippians 4:6-9. This is one of my very favorite verses, and it is such a great Bible verse to commit to memory and to meditate on and to remind yourself of over and over and over again. And it says, and this is the CSB, Christian Standard Version, don't worry about anything, but in everything through prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any moral excellence, and if there is anything praiseworthy, dwell on these things. Do what you have learned and received and heard from me and seen in me, and the God of peace will be with you. And really, to me, this section of scripture is, it's not, just don't worry about it. Just relax, calm down. No, it's purposefully, because there's going to be things to worry about. The Bible says, in this world, you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So there are going to be things. There's money, there's relationships, there's other people, there's jobs, there's natural disasters, there's all kinds of things that are happening in the world. And it's not saying, they're no big deal. It's saying, don't worry about those things, but turn to God and talk to God about these things. And as you focus on him, his peace is going to fill you. And on purpose, think about the things that are true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, morally excellent, praiseworthy. Think about those things. And the God of peace will be with you. So it's not just it's fine. It's be intentional about where your thoughts are going. Be intentional about where your focus is going. I would like to open in prayer, which I don't always do, but I'm feeling compelled to right now. A little bit hard in here, but it's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, I want to pray. Dear God, I just thank you. I thank you for technology, that we can do these crazy workshops on the World Wide Web, and people from wherever they are can participate, and people that are not on live can watch the recording later. And I just pray for each woman, and if any men watch this, I pray for each person that watches this recording, that you will speak to them, that your words will flow through me into the hearts of the people that watch, and that you would calm hearts, that you would open eyes, that you would bring awareness to our ability to manage our stress and manage our emotions, so that we can focus more fully on you, so that we can be an example of Jesus on this earth to other people. And I just ask for your peace that passes understanding, Lord, to calm our hearts and our minds, and help us to remember always to focus on you, that you are the Alpha and the Omega. In this world, we will have trouble, but you have overcome the world. Help us to remember that, to remind ourselves of that, and to trust that your word is true, so that we can walk in faith and confidence, and that we can bring our concerns to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, what's next? Okay, so in this workshop today, we are going to cover what is stress and other emotions, why they matter, and what you can do about them. Ooh, I'm hot. I will tell you, I'm like getting red. So stress, and there are so many different ways that there's so many different definitions of stress. And there's physical stress, which, you know, there's good physical stress. When you work out, you are stressing your muscles. You are stressing your heart muscle when you're doing cardiovascular exercise. You're stressing your muscles when you're doing strength training. You're stressing your body when you are running. And that is all good. That stress it's creating tension, which is strengthening your cardiovascular system. It's strengthening the muscles that you're working on. So that stress, that physical stress, is good and helpful for your body. It makes you stronger. And there's emotional stress, and emotional stress can also be good sometimes if you have to get a project done, or if you have a test that you have to take, or you have company coming over and you get stressed, and that stress compels you to action to get done what it is that you want to get done, so that you aren't stressed toxically with regret and going, reliving what I should have done and what I didn't do. So there are a lot of different kinds of stress. For today, this is what I am going to define stress as: an emotion that may be felt when you consider yourself out of control of a situation, creating tension in your body. So when we're like, I'm so stressed, I'm stressed out, the idea is there is so much going on that I can't control it. It's overwhelming me. So that's the kind of stress that I'm thinking about when I'm talking about stress today. And then other emotions, and on my presentation, I have a feelings wheel. You can't really see it too much because it's just a little graphic, but all of the other emotions are conscious. Notice the word conscious, and this is for our purposes today. There are all kinds of definitions for emotions. A conscious mental reaction, such as anger or fear, could be sadness, excitement, joy, love. It could be any emotion. So a conscious mental reaction, subjectively experienced as strong feelings, usually directed toward a specific object or situation or person, and typically accompanied by physiological and behavioral changes in the body. So when we are experiencing emotions, our body is creating different chemicals. It's like different cocktails that our body creates is sending information into our body. And like when you feel stressed, you might, the cocktail that gets sent to your body, the chemical cocktail, might kind of make your chest feel tight. It might make your hands sweaty. So different emotions will have different effects on your body, create different sensations in your body. And so stress is an emotion, and I called the workshop Managing Your Stress because so many people identify with being stressed out and need help with stress. So there's that. Okay. And then but we have all of these emotions, and the foundation of my coaching, the basic tool of my coaching. And I used to go off of the model created by Brooke Castillo, but I kind of shifted, and I'm using the creation cycle, which is adapted from the model, but it narrows it down, and I like it a lot better. And it's Edie Wadsworth came up with it. And it is, it's based on the creation in the Bible. And so I just really love it. And it's think, feel, do. It's the think, feel, do cycle. So if you have a circle, think, feel, do, our thoughts create how we feel. The way that we are thinking creates how we feel, and how we feel determines what we do. Our feelings drive our actions. And so all of my coaching is based on that, being aware of how our thinking is impacting how we feel, and how we feel compels us to act or to not act. And those actions that we take or don't take, those are what create the results that we have in our life. Whether it's weight gain, weight loss, building a business and making money, finding a new job, keeping your house clean, getting out of debt, anything that you do starts with a thought. And then I kind of go through, there's a circumstance. So something happens in the world. Somebody says something, you have a deadline at work, bills are due, whatever the circumstance is that you have no control over that circumstance. It's a fact. The way that you think about that circumstance creates how you feel. So if you're stressed out about something, it's not that something that's stressing you out. It's not that bills are coming due that is stressing you out. It's what you're thinking about bills coming due. If the bill is due on the 22nd of the month and you don't have enough money in your bank account to pay it, that's the situation, that's the circumstance. The way that you're thinking about that circumstance is creating how you feel about it. And how you feel about it drives what you do about it, which typically in that situation is hide, go drink alcohol, maybe spend more money, overeat, avoid, get a name on that. Been there, done that. And the Bible backs this up. The way that you think creates how you feel, creates what you do, and all of your actions and all of your thinking and all of your feeling, that is who you are, right? And in Proverbs 23:7, this is the amplified version, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And in this verse, the whole verse is talking about a king that says, eat, drink, there's plenty. But in his heart, he's like stingy. So he's not a generous person. He's a stingy person in his heart because he's thinking, oh my word, that costs so much money. I wish they weren't eating that or whatever. But this verse is quoted a lot, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And so our thinking creates everything else in our life. God thought creation before he spoke it into existence. Our thoughts are what create everything. Okay. How you feel. So we typically and there's obviously, there are different circumstances when there's something big that happens, either something big, wonderful, or big, terrible. We typically only experience a handful of emotions on a regular basis, consistently. And we are in the habit of feeling the same emotions consistently. And any habit can be changed. So if you are consistently feeling stressed out, sad, irritated, tense, regretful, like if all of your emotions that you feel on a regular basis are negative, it doesn't have to be that way. It can change. And that is the good news. And the even better news is, going back to the creation cycle, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. It's not dependent on any situation. Your marriage, your husband, your kids, your finances, none of that has to change, because it really does start in your mind. And you have the power to, you're the only one that has the power to control your mind. So that is the good news. So get out that paper and writing utensil, and what are, like, think back over the past week, the past month, today. What are those emotions, those feelings that you're living in on a regular basis? Do you, and thinking about, like, when you wake up first thing in the morning, how do you feel emotionally? Are you excited? Do you dread the day? So just, like, really kind of close your eyes and just think about going throughout your day, going throughout your week, on the weekend. Like, what are those emotions that you feel on a regular basis? And maybe it is stress. Maybe you feel stressed out a lot, and that is one of your emotions. So what are those 3 to 5 emotions that you feel most often? And it can be good. Maybe you're excited, maybe you're content, maybe you feel love, maybe you feel loving, maybe you feel generous. It can be a lot of things. And they're not all, ideally, they're not all good and they're not all bad. Ideally, they're balanced, because we have ups and downs in life, and we don't want to always be happy, and we definitely don't always want to be sad. There's a middle ground. I would like to mostly feel positive emotions, but also when something bad happens, when somebody gets hurt, when one of my kids is sad or sick, I want to feel sad. I want to feel angry sometimes. I want to feel, sometimes I want to feel irritated. If my husband does something and I think he shouldn't have done it, sometimes I'm like, yeah, I feel irritated about that because I don't think he should have done that. And just realizing that kind of takes the pressure off of the emotions. Okay, so for this workshop, I want you to pick one emotion. What is one emotion that, out of those ones that you feel most often, what is one emotion that you want to focus on and that you want to maybe change, maybe understand, maybe minimize? If it's stress, there's going to be stress. Like, it's part of life. And sometimes stress is good. So maybe you just want to understand it a little bit and not feel overwhelming stress, not always feel stressed. So maybe that is one that you want to work on. And if you want to share in the chat which emotion you're working on, I would love to see it. So pick one emotion that you want to focus on. Okay, so overwhelmed, yes, that is. Frustration, yes, good. Okay, so thinking about that one emotion. So right at the top of your page, what is that one emotion? Frustration, overwhelm, whatever it is. Think about the situations when you feel that way. So when is it that I feel frustrated? When is it that I feel overwhelmed? When is it that I feel stressed? Who do you typically feel that way around? Or who in your mind makes you feel that way? Which, if you've been around for a minute, we know that nobody can make you feel anything. It's the way that you're thinking about that person or that situation that makes you feel frustrated or overwhelmed. So who are the people that you identify that evoke that emotion in you? And when, where, like what situations, where does it come up for you? When do you typically feel that way? And just kind of list it all out, frustration at the top. I feel frustrated when blah, blah, blah. Money is tight. I want to do something and I don't have enough time. So and so does whatever, says whatever, treats me whatever. And like, just what are all of the areas that you sense that you feel that way? Frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed, angry, resentful, regret, jealous. Those are all negative emotions that if you feel on a regular basis, I would think that you would want to, like, okay, where is this coming from? I don't want to feel this way all the time. So just, and can I just tell you that right now, if you're doing this exercise, you are journaling, which is amazing. So what are the situations that you would say cause you to feel whatever that feeling is? Who are the people that cause you to feel that way? What are the scenarios, or where do you feel the most stressed? And can I just tell you also that I did this as an acronym, and the acronym is REP, REPP. And the first one is reflect. And this is like when you're in the middle of overwhelm or frustration or stress or jealousy or whatever, you're not going to want to sit down and do this. So you do this when you're not feeling that way, or when you are, but you have like, okay, I want to work through this. But a lot of times when you're in the middle of it is not the time to do the work. But if you're feeling frustrated and you don't have anything else that you need to be doing, grab a journal, sit down and write about all of the reasons you're frustrated. That is such a great exercise. Okay. So why, when, who, and then think about that emotion in those situations. Like, kind of pick one of those situations and put yourself back there, and really like close your eyes and let yourself go into your body and think about, like, almost let yourself feel that overwhelm or that frustration or whatever it is. Let yourself feel that now. Like, think about all of those situations and all of things that person does, and like let that kind of bubble up in you, and notice how it feels in your body. Where do you feel overwhelmed the most? And what does it feel like? And it can be anything. Is there a temperature to it? Is it hot or cold? Is it tight? Does it feel like a ball in your stomach? Is it tingling in your fingers? How does your body feel when you're in that moment? And when you're in that moment, how do you typically react? What do you do? And your reaction can be taking action. It can also be avoiding action. So if you're overwhelmed, typically you don't take action. You hide, you avoid, because overwhelm is it's so much. And so you're overwhelmed by all of the things, so you don't do anything. That's typically what happens with overwhelm. So how do you typically react? What do you turn to when you're feeling that way? What, like, especially with overwhelm, and a lot of them, like, what's your escape mechanism? Do you Netflix? One of my big escape mechanisms is reading. I will read novel after novel after novel. So what do you turn to? It could be food, it could be shopping, it could be exercise, it could be cleaning. I heard an amazing quote, and I just told it to Anne the other day. I'm not going to be able to look for it and find it. But it was, what was it? Rest. Oh my goodness. Something to the effect of rest feels, oh, that's going to bug me. Who did I text it to? And it was quite a while ago, so I have to scroll back. So it can be that, oh, here we go. Rest will feel like stress if busyness is how you medicate. So when you, yes, thank you. Thank you, Anne. Rest will feel like stress if busyness is how you medicate. So it's not necessarily, hurtful behaviors, drinking, overeating, whatever. You could over busy, you can over clean, you can over organize, you can overwork to avoid whatever those feelings are. So what are the things that you turn to? And this is just all for awareness, for you to recognize, okay, this is a feeling that I feel more often than I would like to, or I feel it more strongly than I would like to. This is what creates those feelings. This is when I feel that way. These are the situations. And this is how I typically handle it or deal with it. So, and this is just, it's for awareness, not to judge yourself, not to shame yourself, not to feel guilty, just to be aware. I love, I always think of these things in the middle of it that I don't have written down. And I'm going to skip that because awareness is so powerful. Awareness helps us to see where we're at so that we can see why we're not where we want to be. And it can help us to get there. So what are the feelings that you're experiencing? When, what situations create those feelings for you? And how do you typically respond? What do you do with that emotion when you're having it? So that is the reflect. Then we're going to move on to the E, exercise. So put that to the side. And knowing you're going to feel stressful situations are going to come up. Things are going to happen that you think shouldn't happen, that you are not prepared for, that are going to end up making you feel overwhelmed. It is so important to exercise self-care. Not exercise physically, but that is also important, but exercise self-care. Prepare yourself, because these things are coming. Things are going to happen in the world. Things are going to happen in your life. Things are going to happen in your home. And when you are taking care of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, you are better able to deal with those things, to manage them, to even welcome them maybe. So it's so important that you're taking care of yourself physically. And that, if you're with me at all, it's the 4 basics plus exercise. Eat to feed your body, to nourish your body, to energize your body, get enough sleep, drink enough water. And physically, like, that's eat for hunger, to take care of your body, listen to your body, drink the water, get the sleep, move your body, take care of yourself physically, go to regular physicals, go to the dentist. You actually need to do that. Keep up with your physical body. It is the temple of the Holy Spirit. God is dwelling in you. Take care of your body. So you want to feel energetic. You want to be able to go out and do things and have fun and experience life, and not live in hiding because you don't feel like you can do things that other people are doing and that you want to do. So take care of your physical body, including your brain. Mentally, take care of yourself mentally. Rest. Get the rest that your mind needs and your body, but mentally, you need time that is disconnected. You need to allow yourself to have downtime. If you're constantly going, you're avoiding rest. You're avoiding just being. And if that's the case, then there's some work to do there. Spiritually, take care of yourself spiritually. Make time for God. Devotions, prayer, reading the Bible, going to church, worship music. Oh my word. I love worship music. I love playing, and I listen to the same songs over and over again because I want to be able to sing them. So exercise self-care, your physical body, your mind, and your spirit. Feed yourself, strengthen those things to help you manage your emotions better. If you're mentally exhausted, something that's really this big feels monumental, right? So you want to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually. First P, pause in the moment. So you know what stresses you out, you know what makes you feel overwhelmed and frustrated, you know it, and you know it's coming. So you're taking care of yourself, you're working on your self-care to be able to handle those things better. And then in the moment, you want to pause. And this is hard. This is not easy. This takes deliberate, intentional effort. So you want to be preparing yourself for this. I know it's coming. I know I'm going to be frustrated. I know I'm going to feel overwhelmed. When you recognize it, when you're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm so like clenched and what's going on? pause in the moment. And as a side note, I started listening to a podcast today by Andrew Huberman, and he's like this super duper smart scientific guy. And I've heard it talked about before, but I'm just going to insert it in here kind of on the fly. In the moment when you're stressed out, when you're anxious, frustrated, anything that is like elevating your heart rate and making you feel tense, he talks about the physiological sigh. And you can Google it, you can look it up, you're going to see videos, it's going to talk about how to do it. So doing this 1 to 3 times should, and I want you to test it out. I want you to test it and I want you to tell me, should lower your stress response significantly. It's physiological sigh. You're activating the parasympathetic nervous system to counteract the sympathetic nervous system when you're feeling that stress, frustration, overwhelm. Physiological sigh is a double inhale. And if you're like me, I notice that I do this. I just do it when I'm feeling stressed. But it's a double inhale. You go, and then big, long exhale. And you do that a couple times, and you can like keep doing it until you notice your heart rate settle. And basically, okay, so this is what I learned from, I'm not even done with the podcast, but I want to put this in here because it's so good. And our bodies kind of do it naturally, but if you're doing it intentionally, it's going to be even more powerful. So you take that first inhale, and then that second inhale fills up the smaller sacs in your lung with oxygen. And then when you do that long exhale, it is more effective in getting out the carbon dioxide out of your body. So 2 inhales, long exhale. So try that next time. That's just a little side note tip. And that's physically, that's like, I believe that it interacts with your vagus nerve, like all kinds of things. That is to get into your body and reset your body and your body's stress reaction. Mentally, on the thinking side, you want to, in the moment, pause, like do the physiological breathing. Physiological, is that what I said? The physiological sigh, like when you notice you're feeling tense, do that physiological sigh a few times, and then think about, and this doesn't even, like, you don't have to sit down and journal it, but you think about it. Okay, what's going on right now? What am I feeling? I'm feeling tension, and my heart rate's elevated. I am so frustrated right now. Why? Why am I feeling frustrated? My husband came home from work and asked me what's for dinner. How dare he? I've been working all day. I don't know what's for dinner. What's he going to make me for dinner? Right? And then, okay, I know why I'm feeling this way. Do I want to feel this way? Do I want to feel irritated that my husband walked in the door and said, what's for dinner? Well, no, because typically I do know what's for dinner. So it's just his habit to ask. And if I want him to cook dinner, I could ask him to do that. So I don't really want to feel frustrated because he asked me what's for dinner. Okay, I don't want to feel frustrated. And just that takes the temperature down, and recognizing why I was feeling frustrated and that I really don't want to feel that way, it kind of just dissipates. And then I can move on. Or you might want to feel frustrated. It might be, whatever else it is. Do I want to feel this way? Yeah, because I asked him to bring home dinner. So I'm irritated that he's asking me what's for dinner. And then, of course, I feel irritated. Like, I want to feel that way. I accept it. It's okay. Of course, I feel irritated when that happens. I don't think it should happen that way. And then what can I do about it right now? Is there anything I can do about it? No. I'm just going to let it simmer, or I'm just going to let it go. It's not that big of a deal. And just whatever it is for you, that was just off the top of my head, scenarios, whatever it is for you. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Do I want to feel this way? And either accept it and just allow yourself to feel it, or if that's not how you want to feel, let it go. And what can I do about it right now? Can I do anything about it right now? And just acknowledging and having that awareness is so helpful. So we had reflect. How do I feel? Why do I feel that way? When do I feel that way? How do I handle it? Pause. No, reflect, exercise. Taking care of your body, your mind, your spirit. Pause. How am I feeling in the moment? Why am I feeling this way? Do I want to feel this way? What can I do? And then practice. How do I want to feel in this situation? Do I want to feel frustrated every night when my husband comes home and asks what's for dinner? Or do I want to feel something else? I don't know. My family's texting about dinner and I'm like trying to focus. How do you want to feel in those situations that you listed out in the reflect part about whatever it is? How do you want to feel about those things? What do you want to do or say in those situations or about those situations? What actions do you want to take in those situations? What do you want to do with it? And how do you want to, I love thinking, how do I want to remember this? I do this with weight loss a lot. And like going into a weekend or going to a specific event or a girls' night or whatever. How do I want to come out of this on the other side and remember this? Do I want to remember that I was a total glutton and ate everything in sight and totally stuffed myself? Or do I want to remember that I showed up as the person that I want to be? I shared food with somebody. I only ate until I was satisfied. And I felt so proud of myself and so amazed at myself and so strong and capable. So how do you want to come out of the situation? How do you want to remember it? How do you want to feel afterwards? Like, I think about like interactions with people. This is a big one. Like, do I want to leave this with regret and shame and beating myself up because I said things that I did not want to say? Or do I want to think I treated that person the way that I would want to be treated? Whatever it is, how do I want to remember the situation? And it's going to be different for everybody because everybody has their own experience and their own emotions that they're dealing with too. So how do I want to feel in the situation? And just like practice it ahead of time, even because you know it's coming. So you can practice that. How do I want to feel when this happens again? How do I want to respond? Do I want to react or do I want to respond? And when you're practicing it ahead of time, you're going to respond more than react. And then when I get past that situation again, how do I want to remember it? Looking back, what do I want to remember about it? How do I want to feel about how I handled it? And this is all, it's all very, it's creating intention in your life. It's not a one and done thing, right? You pick this one emotion that you want to work on, and then you do these things over and over and over. That's practice makes progress over and over. You keep doing it. It's work that you're doing to feel better, to show up better, and ultimately to change how you feel in your life, how you feel about your life, and how you show up, what you do in your life. And this may be my favorite verse in the Bible. You will keep the mind that is dependent on you in perfect peace, for it is trusting in you. That's the Christian Standard Version. And I like, I don't know if it's the NIV. You will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is steadfast because he trusts in you. And it's a constant thing. We have to work at trusting God. We have to work at trusting his word. We have to work at believing that what he says is true. And it's a constant thing. Refocus, refocus, refocus. It takes effort. You are worth the effort. You are worth the effort. And the results are worth the effort. Feeling better is worth the effort. Better relationships are worth the effort. Better finances, a healthier body, a healthier mind, a stronger relationship with God. It is all worth the effort. And then you can kind of go beyond this, and this is how you don't want to feel. How do you want to feel? Like, what are the handful of emotions that you would like to feel on a regular basis? And imagine yourself feeling that way. Imagine yourself feeling light, energetic, strong, content, excited. How do you need to think to feel those ways? And then practice thinking that way. Think on purpose, feel on purpose. And that is what I have for you today. Any questions or thoughts? Would love, love, love to hear. And it was kind of a lot. I feel like it was a lot kind of crammed in. Take time and go through this. Do the journaling and reach out. If you have questions, if you want to get on a call and talk about this, I would love to do that. Anne's asking, can you run through the words for the acronym again? Yes, I can. It was REP, R-E-P-P. Reflect, exercise, and that's exercise self-care, not just go out running. So reflect, exercise, pause in the moment, and then practice. Practice, how do I want to feel in these situations? How do I want to respond? How do I want to look back when I've gotten through this? So reflect, exercise, pause, practice. And I'll get this the slideshow, the presentation up also. Any other questions from those of you that are in here with me? Okay. And of course I have to say it because it's here. If you are interested in working together, I am offering an 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching for weight loss. That is weekly calls with me, whatever resources I have available. You can join in the group calls on Thursday evenings if you want. And that is $450. You can pay one time, or you can do 2 payments of $225. I also have the Commit to You group coaching community, and that is a weekly community. We get on live calls, and it's accountability. and we kind of just talk about whatever comes up, and it's all about living your life on purpose. And whatever it is that you're working on, if it's weight loss, if it's finances, relationships, whatever, we come together, we're encouraging each other, and sometimes we have a specific topic, sometimes it's just what's going on, what are we working on, and sharing our wins and celebrations, and then, okay, what's coming up, what are we focusing on this week? So that is the Commit to You community, and that is $49 a month, or you can join for the year for $490. And right now, if you join, I think I have it until the 13th. If you join the community monthly, you get an introduction call to discuss where you're at, what you're working on, and kind of get you started with that. And if you join yearly, the $490, you get 2 free months, and you also get a monthly one-on-one call to talk about where you're at, what's going on, coaching on whatever you want. So those are the ways that you can work with me right now. And I would love to hear thoughts on this, on managing stress and other emotions. Would just love to hear your feedback. So thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Thank you guys for being here so much. I appreciate you. Okay, have a good night. Oh, okay, I'm not going to end it yet. Any thoughts on natural ways to combat exhaustion? So I have some thoughts. Of course, I always have thoughts. So exhaustion can be, is it only physical exhaustion? Because that is going to be, yeah, that's, I imagine both. It's physical and mental exhaustion. So, and you're going to think it's ridiculous, probably. But number one, like, what can you do about your physical exhaustion? If you're tired, how can you get more sleep? And if you need to work on your sleep hygiene, I love doing that. And that's also on here knows we're always working on sleep. So what can you do to get into a better sleep routine? Do you stay up late to avoid going to sleep because you don't want to get up in the morning because it's just another day? That's called sleep procrastination. And I am married to somebody that does that. I believe that we are meant to work, live from rest, from a place of rest. We don't work so that we can rest. We rest so that we can work, so that we can do things. So really working on what is keeping you up through the night. So this managing your stress, managing that overwhelm is going to help you to not need to wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it, because you're working on it during the waking hours. Taking care of your body, that self-care, getting that sleep. Your body, your physical body needs the sleep. Your brain needs the sleep. Your brain resets, it regenerates as you're sleeping. Those synapses connect while you're sleeping. So it's so important that you're getting physically the sleep that your brain and your body need. And that's a whole, you can Google that and look up sleep hygiene, turning off the electronics. Like, what time do you need to get up in the morning? You should be getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep consistently, not every single night, but consistently. So what time do you have to get out of the house in the morning? Back that up. How much time do I need in the morning to get ready, Do I want to have devotion time, journaling time, whatever? So what time do I need? What time do my feet need to be on the floor in the morning? And how many hours is my target? Do I want to work on getting 7 hours a night? So then back it up. What time do I need to be asleep by to get 7 hours of sleep? So just count backwards. If your feet need to be on the ground at 5 o'clock, in order to get a solid 7 hours, you need to be in bed by, what is that, 10? Or you need to be asleep by 10. So you want to be in bed by what, 9:30. So what do you need to do to be able to make that happen without no screen time an hour before bed? No screens. I know. Get into a good routine. What do you need to do before you go to bed? Make sure the kitchen's clean. I really would love to be a person that does that. I am not currently, but I want to be. Kitchen's clean, living room's picked up, brush your teeth, wash your face, whatever, get your clothes out for the next day, whatever that routine is, when you need to start it to be able to get in bed by 9:30 or 9:45, whatever that is. So kind of be intentional about working that. And then practice doing that. And it's not going to be a switch that flips on and like, oh, I get to bed at 9:30, I'm asleep by 10. It takes practice. And when you wake up in the middle of the night, do not grab your phone. Because that's what we want to do, right? Oh, did we get a text message? Do we have any notifications? Do not let yourself touch your phone in the middle of the night. Maybe let yourself tap it to see what time it is, to see, I like to do that if I have to use the restroom. Like if I need to get up at 6 and it's 5 and I have to use the restroom, I'm not getting up. I'm going to try to go back to sleep. If it's 2, I'm like, yes, I'll get up and go to the bathroom because I have 3 more hours to sleep or whatever. So maybe tap it to see what time it is and then just lay there. Lay there. And not, I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep, which that thinking that way creates tension and it's going to keep you awake. Breathe. Do the physiological sigh. That's counting sheep, is to focus your brain away from I need to go to sleep, I need to go to sleep, to help your body relax. Pray. I have a specific song that I will sing in the middle of the night. And just, okay, it's time to go back to sleep. And talk gently to yourself. And when I say talk, it's in your brain, right? It's just time to go to sleep. It's okay. I'm working on this. I'm working on sleep. And just be gentle with yourself. And so first of all, how can you get more sleep physically that your body and your brain need? And then the mental exhaustion is a whole nother thing. And getting sleep, like not being physically tired, is going to help. And then also watch your thoughts. And I do this. I absolutely do this. I'm so tired. Just like out of the blue. And then I stop and go, no, I'm not. I'm not even tired. Why am I telling myself I'm tired? Because when you're telling yourself that, I'm so exhausted. I'm just exhausted all the time. I'm so tired. Just thinking that way creates a feeling in your body of low energy, of exhaustion, of mental exhaustion. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to those thoughts. And then when you catch them, there it is. Hey, I'm not even exhausted right now. I'm in the habit of telling myself I'm exhausted, which creates exhaustion. What? Seriously, try it. Thoughts on that? Yes. When you wake up in the middle of the night, instead of saying, I need to go to sleep, I have to go to sleep. Oh my gosh, I have to get up in 3 hours. I have to go to sleep. Why can't I go to sleep? Just tell yourself, I want to be asleep. I want to be asleep. It's time for sleep. My body needs rest. And you can too, I mean, there are apps that do help. Maybe there's different, there's like white noise, there's brown noise. I didn't know there were different colors of noise. Maybe that would help. So start with this and then do research. What helps me sleep? Journaling things and getting them out of your mind. You have all of this stuff jumbled up in your mind that you're thinking about. And then it's all craziness during the day. And then when you're laying down in bed, they all start speaking up. If you're working on them throughout the day, they don't need to speak up at night. Journaling is amazing. Get it all out of your head. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that because my family is ready to go to dinner. But reach out, please, please, please reach out. I love talking about all of this. If you're not in the Commit to You community, join. It's amazing. Or if you are wanting to do one-on-one, you can sign up for that. And all of that is at shannapizer.com. The links are all there for everything. Thank you so much. If you were here live, if you're watching the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you.